Which are the best lists to pull from Propstream this month, December 2022? What's up, YouTube? It's Matt here. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to look at Propstream. I'm going to drill into Propstream with you all and share the very best list to pull for this winter season. As you all know, in the housing industry, in the real estate market, there are seasonalities, especially now that we're going through a shift in the market. We're going through more of a slowdown, especially it being winter months. And then on top of that, with the whole economy and what the Fed is doing. And so while you're wholesaling during this time, it's good to look at data. It's good to look at, okay, what are the foreclosure stats? What are the housing activity going on? How many homes are being sold, or are prices decreasing? But the good thing about this video is that I did all that research for you all. And so I done the research and I created a list for you all to pull from Propstream. So if you all don't mind, to show support of this video, if you're thinking about finding discounted properties off market, use Propstream down below. With my link, you get a 7 free day trial. And also like this video, comment down below which list you're targeting and how has wholesaling been for you during these months, during a recession that we're experiencing as a whole. Make sure you all like and subscribe. All right, everyone. So I'm on this website where it talks about opportunity zone areas. And I think this is a very interesting article, which leads us to our very first list to pull from Propstream. So opportunity zones are essentially an area that was designed or designated by the government where investors can get in. If investors get in there, there's a lot of benefits from investing in those areas. If they're able to improve the area, make the houses better, put some grocery stores in this area, there's usually tax benefits for investors. And so usually these areas are lower priced, but these areas have been increasing in home prices and just activity as a whole as investors try to look for lower priced properties. And then on top of that, they're trying to find properties that will sell faster than these higher market areas, because people are going to these areas because they can't afford other properties because interest rates are higher or because just the prices are higher. And so a lot of investors are going to areas like this. And so here in this article, they were just saying that over half of the opportunity zones around the country went up at least 3% in prices. And yeah, that these areas that are experiencing this growth is just constantly increasing because, home prices around other areas are just too expensive for people to afford. And so how do you look for that on Propstream? So it can be a little bit tricky. So what I like to do is you can either research it online. You can look at, okay, which zip codes are considered opportunity zones in Atlanta, Georgia? Which zip codes are considered opportunity zones in Nashville, Tennessee? And most likely you can find that information. Another obvious way you can find them is just, talking with other investors who invest in these sort of areas. Maybe they have some Section 8 rentals in these areas, or they flip properties in this area, and they were like, yeah, this price range is the price range. So the third option that we're going to do here is we're just going to look at lower price options. And so I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia, and I know their medium home prices are around between $350 and it can go higher to like $450. And so an opportunity zone area most likely will hit under 300. Will probably hit around 250. And so in this Propstream, in this this software system, what I'm going to do, there's a filter where you can look up like the valuation of the property. And let's say you want to look for houses over $1 million, you can do that here. If you want to look for houses under 300,000, which we're going to do here, we can do that on Propstream. And so I'm going to do that here. So estimated value, I'm going to put max 300,000. And that brings it down to 90,000. So obviously you want more criteria. And so another criteria is you want this property to have equity. And so from here, I'm going to have a minimum equity of 50%. I want a good amount of equity. Now, obviously, this is not going to include all the areas in the opportunity zone, but these are areas that are lower priced that flippers are getting into, because houses between 175 and 275 during a downturn, yes, it may take a little bit longer to sell, but most likely in areas like this, maybe that's expensive in your area, but like in areas around like Atlanta, that's extremely affordable, and those houses sell extremely well. And so even during a downturn, those properties are going to do well, whether they're in the opportunity zone or not. So this first list is just looking for properties that are lower priced, because there's always going to be activity and demand for those type of properties. And so we put at least 50% equity. Let's say ownership information. Let's say we're looking for just an individual. So we're not looking for any LLCs. And then let's say we want them to own this property for at least 7 years. Let's get this list really down. Then let's say max owned property. So I don't want this to be a big landlord or anything, or maybe you do want that, but I just looking for someone that doesn't own more than like 3 houses. And so I'm looking for an individual. Or if you don't want to do that, let's say you want to look for someone that owns at least 90 houses. And these might be tired landlords, right? And they're individuals. So we could do it down to 50. So these are kind of like landlords who own a bunch of properties, and they have these properties in these areas, and they own other properties. So maybe they may be more open to sell. So that's one way to look at the 2 different ways to find properties. And that's why I like Propstream, because I can look at minimums, so I can look at tired landlords, or I can do maximum, where I'm looking for just an individual that probably owns a property for a while, been in the the family for a while, or whatnot like that. So that's the first list I would do. And then let's say if you want it to be vacant, you can do that. And it brings it down to 773. And then obviously it's not occupied. Or you could do any, and then you could say non-owner occupied, and that brings it down even more. So you could play around with that. Now I'm looking at the whole Atlanta city. Most likely I'll zoom in at a specific zip code, or on Propstream I can use this widget right here to draw the area that I want to look at. All right, so the next list I want to talk about is foreclosures. So October 2022, U.S. foreclosure activity increases 57% from October 2021. So you're seeing foreclosures increasing month by month. So foreclosure completion numbers increased 18% from last month. So lenders repossessed around 4,100 properties through completed foreclosures in October 22. Is up 18% from last month and 37% from last year. So these are properties that finished the whole foreclosure process, and the bank now owns the property. And so, yes, we're still not at pre-pandemic levels. This is what the article was saying. And so, but we're showing that we're heading there, right? It says that October foreclosure activity was about 59% of pre-pandemic numbers. So around 60% there to pre-pandemic levels. And so on Propstream, what we're going to do is we're going to simply, get rid of these, like the 300,000 or less. We don't have to do equity. We could keep 7 years or more. I mean, not really. We'll just tinker a little bit with it. And then from here, you can go to just pre-foreclosure. And they have a pre-foreclosure quick list choice. And then from there, you can target some people. And yeah, it makes it very simple. Another thing is that from here, you can look at pre-foreclosure and bank-owned, notice of default, or anything like that. You can just tinker around over there, looking at pre-foreclosures in your area. So yeah, obviously the list is super small because I guess it's hard to really get that data, and we're still not at the numbers where we can find pre-foreclosure homes, or we're not at the level where there are a ton of foreclosures or pre-foreclosures happening. So it may be a little bit difficult, but Propstream helps with that. And then the next thing I want to do is just make a general list for you all. So I want to do something special. So we'll call this the December Christmas special list for Propstream. And so I'm just taking into account it's the holidays. People are not really looking to sell or like looking to move, but there are sellers, right? There are people motivated to sell around December, around Christmas time. So what I'm going to do with this list, I'm going to make this a non-owner occupied property, and I'm going to make it vacant. All right. So these are properties that are totally vacant. All right. And then on top of that, what I want to do is I want to target only residential properties. And so I'm just going to do single family, condo, multifamily, 2 to 4, things of that nature. Boom. And then from there, I want ownership information. I want them to own the property for at least 5 years. So before the whole appreciation that happened during the pandemic. And then valuation and equity. I want at least 30% equity. Okay, so this is a very niche list. This is your I guess your typical vacant property list. And then on top of that, what I want to do too, on top of that, I want to go to ownership information, and I want this to be kind of a tired landlord, right? And so from here, I'm going to put minimum own properties owned, let's say like 15. Let's say see how big this list is. Only 83. So this is a very niche list. So I can either go that route or just do the individual or just do the whole list like that. Like there's 1,100 people, perfect amount to target. I usually like to have a list of around 1,000 to 1,200 to target. And so, yeah, that would be my third list to target on Propstream. All right, you all, let me know down below which list you're going to target and if this video helped you all. I know the market is changing. I know for me personally, I've been focusing more on my YouTube channel and investing in real estate, you know, because I've been through the whole wholesaling journey, but I haven't been wholesaling honestly over the past couple of months. And so I'm using just the capital I made off of wholesaling to put down payments on properties, and just invest more into making more broader content on my channel. So let me know if you all enjoyed some of those previous videos that I made. I'm just experimenting and doing different things like that. So let me know down below what you all think. Make sure you all like this video, subscribe, comment down below, and check out Propstream down below. All right, talk to you all later.